You sick and tired of dealing with migraines? I've had for about 30 years been suffering from migraines. Now, I've had 14 concussions and 3 skull fractures, so that has a lot to do with my migraines. And I've tried everything. I mean, I've worked with my doctors, I've worked with neurologists, and I work closely with them still. And over the last 30 years, I've been prescribed just about every medication you can try, from Depakote to Imitrex to Topamax. And the one that I found that worked for me the most was Depakote, but it had some side effects that affected me. And one of those was hyperphagia. So something about the medicine made me want to eat all the time, or more specifically, like if I had eaten when I was done, I still was famished. I mean, I was still hungry, and so I put on some weight. So I didn't like that. I didn't like that side effect. And another one was that it started to create varicose veins on my left ankle. I mean, it looked like somebody hit me with a baseball bat. And so I started doing some research, and you all know that I'm a huge Joe Rogan fan. And I saw one of Joe Rogan's episodes where he had Neil Brennan on, and Neil was talking about mushrooms. Now, he was talking about magic mushrooms, but it made me start looking into other things. So I started searching mushrooms, and what I found was, like lion's mane, reishi, and so that that got me to start doing more research and trying different things and working with my doctor, working with my neurologist, letting them know I don't like how these things help me, because I didn't feel like they were really helping me. And it's not that they masked, the pain or anything like that. Like when I was on Depakote, I would still get migraines. So I was like, what's the point in doing this? Why am I taking this thing? Why am I spending on money on something and I'm still having the migraines? Now, they weren't as bad as they used to be, because are you like me where like I would get 3 to 5 times a week these just, you know, terrible, debilitating migraines. I became photosensitive. I just, had to have all the lights off in the room, had to have blackout curtains, the whole 9 yards. I couldn't watch TV, couldn't look at my phone, just everything, noises, sounds bugged the crap out of me. It just kind of made me a moody and irritable person in general. So, for those of you who know me personally, that explains my behavior sometimes. I'm just kidding, but with all of this, and again, let me preface something real quick. I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you something that worked for me, and it was because of watching Joe Rogan's podcast, that I found this information out that led me to do more research for myself to find something that has worked for me. So I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving you medical advice. And just like the disclaimer that I put up at the beginning of the show, always consult your physician, and if you have a neurologist that you're working with, also consult with them, right? Get a professional's opinion and advice and have them work with you, because that's what I've done, where I'm working closely with my doctor and my neurologist so they can see what's going on. And so when I saw this episode, and I'll put a link in the description section, but when I saw this episode with Neil Brennan, this is about 4 years ago. Neil was talking about depression and anxiety and all the different things that he had tried, and he talked about magic mushrooms. Now that's not what I'm talking about. This is just regular mushrooms like lion's mane, reishi, like I said before. And the brand that I have tried, I've tried several brands, but the one that I think helped me the most was a brand called Genius Mushrooms. Now, again, this is not a paid advertisement. This is just what worked for me, having tried several different brands. And like I said, this has lion's mane and reishi, and it just really, to me, has helped me so much. I don't have migraines anymore. It's been a year and a half since I've had a migraine. So Genius Brands, they're available on Amazon. You can buy them from their own website. I think they sell them at CVS now, but they're widely available now. And it's just 3 capsules a day. I take them first thing in the morning with my multivitamin, and then ashwagandha. So this has really helped me with like anxiety and stress and depression and things like that, and just my overall mood. And again, this is from a brand called Toniq. And again, not a paid advertisement. This is just what I purchased and what worked for me. I tried different brands over the last year and a half, and these two are the ones that work best for me. So now, this is to be clear, I still every once in a while get headaches, right? Like a tension headache, you get that little right in your temples, sometimes in the back of my neck if I sleep funny at night or something like that. So I still get headaches, but even my headaches are, like a few hours. They'll go away. Where my migraines used to would just literally take me down. They were literally debilitating. I'd have to leave work early or not go into work, right? Like this is not a good thing. And no matter what medicine I tried, I would still have these. But in using these two, changing my diet a little bit, right? So I don't eat a lot of salty foods anymore now. I don't drink soda or anything like that. Try to eat healthier. But I'm not perfect in that sense either. I mean, I've talked about, diet and nutrition on here before. And again, I'm not a dietitian or a nutrition. I'm just telling you what works for me, right? So if we share information, and if of things that have worked for you that might help others, that's always a good thing, right? Just sharing information. So, like I stopped drinking coffee after noon. I used to drink coffee all day. I just was a coffee fiend. So reducing my caffeine, things like this, making sure that the vitamins that I take have a high amount of riboflavin. And the only vitamin that I've been able to find uh, has 25 milligrams of riboflavin, because that's what my neurologist said that I need to increase my riboflavin levels. So, and, but so again, like your doctor will be able to help you know what your body needs, what your brain needs, what your body needs. So work with them. They're able to do blood samples to tell you what your levels are high or low. But I just know for me, taking ashwagandha and taking these mushrooms have greatly helped me, because in a year and a half, I've not had a migraine. When I got off the Depakote, it took about 3 months, but the varicose veins, or what seemed to be varicose veins or spider veins, have almost completely disappeared. So, I mean, now I have been taking that for like 7 years. So it's going to take a while for a lot of that stuff to get out of your system. But I've picked on Joe a little bit sometimes, talking about when he gets into like health and medicine and science and things like that. But again, when it becomes more anecdotal and you see somebody's success in something, you know, I'm one of these people like, well, if it worked for them, I'm going to try that. But again, under supervision, right? Because, something might affect somebody that it doesn't affect somebody else. So that's why you always want to make sure that your doctor knows what you're doing. And to me, if like these are sold over the counter, and since it's like literally just mushrooms and ashwagandha, these are organic materials. They're not highly over synthesized or anything like that. So what would be the negative side effects? Is there anything that you're doing? Do you have any tricks? Is there something you found out that helps you with your migraines? Because for people that suffer with migraines, and if people who don't know, it literally, it can stop you from working. It's literally, it can be a disability for some people, and it can affect your relationships, your performance at work, your relationship with your job, right? Because if you're constantly having to call out, they might have to replace you. So, and I know more and more people that are suffering from migraines than I'd ever seen before. I'd always just thought it was, because of injuries. Because like I said, I've had 14 concussions and 3 skull fractures. I have 72 stitches right here above my right eye from an injury that I received when I was a kid. And a few years ago, I had a right orbital maxillofacial right orbital blowout, and I deviated my right septum. And then I fractured my skull in the back. And a lot of this was playing hockey and having an older brother who loved watching professional wrestling when I was a kid in the 80s and 90s. So, and we had a trampoline. So, I was always getting injured or doing something. I was like little Evil Knievel when I was a kid. So that's for me where my migraines stem from, is my brain injuries. But I just can't even tell you how much this has helped me. So changing my diet, eating healthier, but with some assistance and help from something as simple as mushrooms. And there's no side effects for me. I've not had any side effects. Like I said, where with the Depakote, it gave me hyperphagia, which made me want to eat all the time. So, and like I said, even after I would eat, I wasn't satisfied. I wasn't full. And that was abnormal for me. And, being 6'2", my average weight should be about 185 to 205. And I'd gotten up to 260 pounds. And I was not happy with myself. I was miserable. And then the weight gain made me more unhealthy, which led to more migraines, which led to more. It was just a downward spiral. And I was like, how is this medicine that's supposed to help me causing me more pain? And I'm not anti-medicine. I just, this is what this pill did to me. And that's what the side effects did to me. Some people have no side effects, right? So it's just what happened to me. And I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And since I watch a lot of Joe Rogan anyway, I'd come across this episode, like I said, with him and Neil Brennan, and they were talking about mushrooms. And I've seen Joe talk about this several times with other people too. And it's not that there's some magical healing thing. It's just whatever's in these mushrooms, helps with brain fog, helps with more cognitive thinking. So again, it's just something that worked for me. So if you suffer from migraines and you've tried everything and you're at your wit's end, maybe give these a try. Talk to your doctor, see what they say. They're very inexpensive. I think for the Genius mushrooms, I think it's like last time I bought a bottle a month ago, it was like $21 on Amazon. The Ashwagandha, I think, is like $16 to $18, and it just depends on how many you get. But I'll put links to where you can buy those from Amazon in the description. But if so do you have migraines? Do you know anybody in your family that suffers from migraines? Maybe you want to share this video with them, tell them about this. Are you a migraine sufferer and there's something that you've done that works best for you? Because the cold compresses and all that kind of stuff after a while is just like, this is just nonsense. I'm just tired of feeling bad. And so, literally, like I said, in a year and a half, I've not had a migraine. So something's working, and I've not made like huge alterations in my life. So I feel like for me, I can pin this down to that it's these two capsules that are helping me, that it's the ashwagandha and the Genius mushrooms that is helping me with my migraines, because they were essentially gone. So Joe, thanks for talking about that. Thanks for making me aware of it. And again, like I said, and I didn't just watch that and go out and buy stuff. I checked to see what was going on. I talked to my doctors. What were their suggestions? What were their thoughts? And surprisingly, they were very open-minded. They're like, well, hey, it's not going to hurt to try. Because like I said, I've been dealing with this for 30 years. So do you have any tips or suggestions for people? Leave me a comment down below on what you've done, what works for you. Have you tried these products? Are you finding the same thing that I am? Let me know. Well, I'll talk to you next time on the John Malone Show. I hope your migraines go away. Have a great day.